Hey guys, Brian here, Stogie Review. I'm here with the legendary Jose Blanco. We just did a blending seminar. How do you think that went?
It went well. It went well. It went the way I liked it. There was a lot of interesting questions. I always tell people to ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question, and the only way that you're going to really learn is asking questions. I've been smoking for 50 years, and I'm still asking questions, whether I'm in Cuba or Honduras or Nicaragua or Mexico or in Dominican. I'm still asking. I want to learn.
50 years, man. That's a long time to be smoking. So that's an impressive career. So speaking of careers, what's going on with you? I know that you've had a bit of a career change happen. Want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, like I've said to many of my friends and to many of our clients and followers, this situation with the FDA is something that has impacted in our business, and the risk as a business person to put in to pursue a dream that I've had is something that's going to cost around $1 million, and not for a small company. So it's a very hard situation, and we hope and we pray that the FDA is going to reverse the predicate date and just take us out of this mess that we're dealing with. It's going to affect hundreds of thousands of people in Dominican, Mexico, Ecuador, Peru, Nicaragua, and it's a tragedy.
So what do you think? Do you think there's much of a chance of things changing back a little bit, or?
Well, we have hopes that the new administration will look into that we're small business and that we're not the cigarette industry. We're an $800 million wholesale business compared to 90 billion of what the cigarette industry. And this is a handmade product. We do not target children. We're just adults.
Yeah, absolutely. So EP Carrillo, how did that happen? What happened there? What's got you down that trail?
Well, a lot of people know that Ernie and I have been friends for many years, and people who follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter would see that even when I was with La Aurora, I would see him in general, and then when I was at Hoy, every time we would meet, we would spend together. When we started off M&I, our project too, we were always there all the time, and after this happened, I called Ernie up and let's start to work and with EPC and all that. He's a master, and there is no doubt about it. He's made some of the greatest cigars, in the last 30 years, and we're on a roll.
So you're kind of in the role of the traveling evangelist for EP Carrillo now, or?
Well, I'll be heading the sales department. We'll be working on. I'll be working with him a lot in the international business. I will be doing the seminars and doing events and just visiting the shops. I'll be very active as always with the social media. We'll be at the Dortmund show in Germany in September with a lot of ideas that we have. So we'll keep doing what we do and just pray that all these things with the FDA, at least in part, the predicated date will probably go away, and there's going to be some type of regulation, but we just don't. I don't feel it's correct all the things that they have imposed on us.
So there's not a lot of concern with EP Carrillo, the company. You're going to be able to weather this, basically.
Oh no. That's not a problem. We're committed to it. Ernie's committed. The whole family is committed. I mean, if I was not sure, it's not going to be a no-brainer for us.
So you're going to continue to do the blending seminars, is
Oh
what
yeah,
you're
the
saying,
blended
just as many.
seminars, and Ernie and I eventually will work on some projects for Europe, and maybe in the future, if this does, we get off the FDA rulings, of course we'll work together. There is no problem with that. I have the utmost respect for him and his family. Ernie and I go way back.
So you already have stuff in the works for the European market at this point? Or
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'll be in DR in about 10 days, and we'll take it from there to see what's happening.
Great. How many blending seminars do you typically do a year? I see you on the road on Facebook and social media all the time.
This year I was in Denmark. I did 5. I did 6 in Sweden. I was now home in Macedonia. We did a couple of there. So I probably did this year, I would say it had to be at least 75 to 80 seminars. I'm close to 850. My goal is to reach at least 1,000.
Wow, that's a lot. So how many days on the road is that? That's
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's like 300 days on the road or something like
Not
that.
that much. It's going to be at least. It's going to be always around 30 weeks of traveling.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I don't know how you
People
do
ask
it.
me how I do it.
Yeah, exactly. How do you do that?
Well, I do it because I try to go to bed early and smoke good cigars.
Well, there you go. Yeah, go to bed early and smoke good cigars, and you too can travel 30 weeks a year. So tell me a little bit about. I saw that there were some new cigars here that new EP Carrillos that were for sale.
I mean the new Rebel, the Maverick, and the Rebellious. I mean Ernie did a great job on that. I'm a big fan of the Rebellious with the Connecticut broadleaf on it. I think it's one of the strongest cigars that Ernie has made. It's really rich, very well balanced, and it's a really full body cigar. But it's not a cigar that you're gonna have more strength over the flavor. So I would say the strength's about 8.5, maybe close. I would say 8.5, but it has a 10 on flavor, the complexity, the nice spice, the sweetness that broadleaf has. I'm a big fan of broadleaf.
Yes, and I know you're a big fan of flavor. I remember from previous videos where you were saying flavor. Yes, but yeah, so that seems like a good call. What's the retail roughly for those? Do you happen to know?
I think it's $10.
About 10.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a big cigar. It's a 7x54, so you're talking about 2 hours of pleasure for basically $10.
$10.
But the price, if you go to Minnesota, it's going to cost $30. They got a 90% tax.
Oh, wow, really? I thought that was only New York that had taxes like that.
Well, New York went to 28. That was a big fight, but now California is going to go to 62.
Ouch.
And Minnesota, they have a 350 cap. So Minnesota, I would say in the last 4 or 5 years, have lost about 25 to 30 retailers, and there's still 11 or 12 guys out there still struggling trying to make it happen.
So the other lines, aside from the Rebellious,
the Connecticut Reserve. So people that are looking for a cigar that's very creamy with a lot of flavor to it, that has real notes, that's not overpowering. I would say it's more than mild. It's less than medium. It's bordering with medium, but it has a lot of flavor to it. It's a cigar for people that like that Connecticut wrapper. They just want a little bit of more strength and flavor to it.
Okay. And so you said there was a Rebellious. Is that?
Then there's the Maverick also.
Maverick,
That's
yes.
a little less on the strength side. Very well balanced. I would say it's a medium, more or less. Very affordable too. They have the size. It's 7x54. I can't, to be honest, remember the other size. I'm still assimilating all the things that are going on.
Yeah.
And then of course La Historia, which was the number 2 cigar of the year last year. With the Mexican San Andres and the Nicaraguan fillers and binders. That's a must cigar. That's one of our biggest sellers, and of course the Inch for the people that like those really big ring gauges. If you look at the history of cigars, you got to give credit to Ernie, because Ernie was the first person that came up when he was with La Gloria. He did the Series R.
Series R, yeah.
And now you have an Inch with a 58, with a 60, a 64, 70, and that is our best-selling cigars by far.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's surprising because I'm not a big ring gauge guy, but yeah, you definitely have to give credit to Ernie because he basically made that market. I don't think people realize it, but before he started doing that, it didn't exist.
No, people went like, "What's with this?" Because the biggest you would see was maybe a 52, and when Ernie went with the Series R and then the Series R Maduro, I mean it's a big time, and a lot of people that have been followers of Ernie for many years have smoking that cigar. What people don't realize is that I give so much credit to Ernie because people do not know how hard it is to blend a cigar with a big ring gauge. Anybody, I'm not going to say anybody, but it's easier to do a Robusto Corona Gorda Corona or even a 6x54 Toro, but when you got to go into those ring gauges, 60, 64, 70, you really have to know to make the proportions of the ligeros, the visos, the binder you're going to use, the wrapper you're going to use. So that is something that I give a lot of credit to Ernie. I take my hat off to him.
Yeah, he does a really good job with the big ring gauges, better than most that I've come across. There's a lot of large ring gauges out there that just they taste washed out to me, over the smaller rings.
And to be honest, he's made some phenomenal cigars also on the Robusto side, the Toro side, but he's more well known really for those big ring gauges.
So tell people why they should come and check out one of your blending seminars.
Well, the blending seminar, it's like I said, it's something I've been doing for many years. I did it with La Aurora, I did it with Joya de Nicaragua, I did it when I was doing our company too, and now with Ernie I started November 1st, and right away I'm on the road this week doing 4 seminars and been completely full. And it's really a way, I always write about it, it's a learning experience. If you look at it, it's a learning experience. You're gonna smoke a cigar that has 4 different wrappers. We start off with a very mild wrapper, then we go a little bit mild to medium, then we go to medium, and then we finish off with a full flavor, full body wrapper so people can understand. We go from mild to full because if not, then if we would do it reverse, then the last wrapper, you could hardly pick it up.
Yeah.
Then we talk about the curing fermentation, we talk about the blending, we talk about the 6 elements that have to be in a cigar, we talk about the different seeds, we talk about Corojo, Criollo 98, different tobaccos, the different characteristics from Ecuador to Honduras to Nicaragua to Dominican, and it's a learning experience, and just the misconceptions that people have on just a simple thing, that flavor and strength. You could have a mild cigar that's full flavor, and you could have a strong cigar that's just strength. You'll never want, unless you like that nicotine buzz, that the strength overlaps the flavor.
Yeah, you definitely don't want it over the top with the strength, and that goes to balance and flavor basically. Yes.
But at the same time, I recognize that there's a couple of brands out there that have that niche for those really guys that like that really strong cigar, that like that buzz, and there's nothing wrong with it. I always tell people, enjoy what you like.
That's good advice. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes to talk to us. I really appreciate that.
It's always great to be on Stogie Review.
Stogie Review, yes.
And it's a pleasure always to be with you, with my good friend Ben Lee, Jerry Cruz, even Walt that's been absent for a while, but all the love, all the respect for what you guys do. You're one of the true group of guys that have been honest, that have been serious about what you do, and have given us a lot of support, and we appreciate it as an industry.
Thanks so much.